It's me. I'm back. Last week was chaotic. I just moved into my apartment here in New Orleans. My mom was here. Now she's gone. Womp womp. Sad, sad. But also really happy and really exciting. I'm in my new space. Everything is furnished. Everything is bomb.com. So here I am with your messages. Today it's going to be Samantha, Gemini rising, Aries ascendant, Ren, and then Shawnee. Those are the active members right now. It kind of ebbs and flows. It changes up a little bit. So we'll work with that this week. Let's see. So we're in Aries season. It's important for you to check your chart and see what house Aries is for you. For Aries ascendant, she's in Aries rising. So Aries is the first house. So this season is all about herself, her identity, her expression, her body, things like that. The second house with Aries would deal with finances. The third house, communication. The fourth house, home. Fifth house, children, creativity, and dating. The sixth house, your daily routines and your health. The seventh house would be all about your relationships of all sorts. Yay, you made it. The eighth house is about intimacy, finances, rebirth. The ninth house is about philosophy, higher learning, education, travel. The 10th house, Aries in the 10th would activate your career, your public standing. The 11th would activate your friendships, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and your networks. And the 12th house would be the house of spirituality, the house of undoing, the house of the unconscious. Okay, so depending on where you have Aries, that is what's being emphasized for you at this time. And that's also important to know because on the 29th, which I believe is Sunday, we have a partial solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. So whatever that house is getting a whole reboot of energy. And a lot of us are being asked to pivot in some sort of way, to bring our courage to the table, to really get clear about this next level and what is being asked of us. So eclipses, the energy of the eclipses, they last for up to 6 months. So it could be that something is initiated now that you don't really see until down the line. It could be on the day that there's a big shift in energy. There's a big shift in your own understanding of yourself and your desires. There's lots of different ways that this can play out. And that's why I like astrology as a guide and not the end all be all, right? Because there really is no way to know for sure what's gonna happen ever. But through astrology, we are able to highlight the subconscious, to examine the patterns, and to make some very educated guesses on what we might expect. Okay, so this week is important. Check to see what house you have Aries. That's what's being activated here right now by the sun, and also what is being activated with this solar eclipse on the 29th. Okay, so this live is for the Patreon members. They get priority, they get their readings first. And then if you would like to be added to the list, you can send 1111 to bohohealingco, the cash tag in the title. I also, in the description, have all the ways that you can see what I'm up to. I have a lot of free content. This is not that. The Patreon is also 1111 a month. So if you're thinking you want weekly readings, what's up, Samantha? Weekly readings, so 4 readings a month. Join the Patreon because it's 1111. It's the same as buying one reading. Okay. Or if you're just a one and done type of person, you could do that too. Or you can just sit and listen. Sometimes when you listen, you receive a message that you can apply for yourself as well. Okay. Instagram, TikTok, there's lots of free stuff. Even here on YouTube Reels, lots of free things. Okay. Hey, Samantha says New Orleans looks good on me. I love it. I love it. I'm so happy to be back. I feel like I am my full self here in New Orleans. And for a lot of reasons, my personality, my spirit was stifled in Albuquerque. It was like a cocoon, and cocoons are great, but once you outgrow the cocoon, you gotta spread your wings. So that's where I'm at right now. So man, I did move. Am I from here? No, but I got pregnant here. I had my baby here. Met my baby daddy here. We're not together anymore, but still, it's a really special place to have a baby and start a family and all of that. So I'm glad to have Lily Moon back to her hometown and to be more in touch with her culture and her family and things like that. So, all right. Samantha is first, then Gemini rising. If you have anything specific, let me know in the chat before I get started. It's Samantha, Gemini rising, then Aries ascendant, Ren and Shawnee. Then we'll move on to any donations or any questions in the chat, okay? Home is where the heart is for sure. So, of course, I miss my parents already, but you know, what can you do? Can't live with your parents forever. Or I guess you could, but not me. A year is long enough. Okay, just general for both of you ladies. Let's get into it. What does Samantha need to know, do, or understand with Aries season and this Aries eclipse? Samantha. Okay. So we have a bunch of reminders. Okay, so we have the Page of Pentacles and the World card. It seems as though some opportunity, maybe with money, some idea that you've had for creating or generating wealth is coming to a close. Maybe it's coming to a close before it even gets started. I want you to be mindful of any business deals that do not feel aligned with you. Don't say yes just to say yes. Don't say yes just to appease other people. If it's not lighting you up and making you feel like the badass that you are, don't do it. Okay, don't do anything out of scarcity or desperation or especially fear. Okay, so this is what this is representing to me, is making sure that you are making decisions from an empowered place, right? Not all money is good money. Not all connections are good connections. So you just want to feel through that and make sure every move you make feels empowered. If you're unsure of something or still confused or have too many options, this eclipse for everyone is going to make things very, very clear. So if you have a decision and it can wait, I would wait until Sunday, the eclipse, Sunday and thereafter. Because there's a lot of mental activity, mental action coming up that can help us to make clearer decisions. Bears have dresses. Wow. So this is important for all of us. If there is a decision that is really important to you and it can wait, don't make any moves yet. Wait until Sunday. Wait until that energy hits and clarifies the situation. Now, if you have to make a decision before then, fuck it, do it, make your decision. But if it can wait, I would say wait until after this eclipse, which is what these two cards are saying. You can think on it, you can meditate on it, you can have some time to figure out what you truly want to do. So again, if there's any confusion in your life, or if you've been feeling rushed to make a decision, give yourself the freedom of not knowing. Like, you don't have to know right now. And the lunation that we have coming up is going to really connect all the dots for us, okay? For you specifically, since this is your reading, but also for all of us in general. See, we have the Emperor, which is representative of Aries season and this Aries eclipse. Let this energy come and make it very clear where you need to pivot, where you can make more empowered decisions. Okay, Samantha? All right. Gemini rising is next. You can get a reading by sending 1111 to the cash tag. First, we're going through the Patreon members, and then we'll go to any donations afterward. The Patreon is 1111. That gets you 4 readings a month, as well as astro updates. Or you could send 1111 one time and get a one-time reading. I know what I would do. Okay, Gemini rising. What does she need to know, do, or understand with Aries season and this Aries solar eclipse? A great reminder. Hey, you're so welcome, Samantha. Gemini rising. All right, Gemini rising. Sometimes it's okay to let people be wrong. Let people be wrong about you. Let people be wrong with their ideas. Let people do their own thing, honestly. This is a card about potential conflict and fighting, and it's like some battles are absolutely worth fighting. Absolutely. But not all of them are. So this is an opportunity for you to look around and be like, do I even need to be engaging in this right now? Do I even want to put my energy out there like this right now? Or is it better for me to let people do them? Now, that is a question only you can answer. Because again, there are things that are worth fighting for, absolutely. But I think sometimes too, we get so wrapped up in like wanting to be right or wanting to be acknowledged or wanting to be the winner. So ask yourself, is this my ego, or is this actually something that's important for me to continue fighting for, advocating for? What else does Gemini rising need to know, do, or understand? Okay, justice. All right. This is coming into focus again. So any legal battles, anything karmically related, this is definitely coming into focus as something to potentially rehash or resolve. What about this legal stuff? Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth here. This is the Two of Pentacles. Your son, he won't listen to you. He's living in another state. Girl, you could try, but since he is 18, at the end of the day, he has to make his own decisions, and he has to potentially learn the hard way, right? So you're absolutely doing the right thing as your mother, or as a mother. But again, it's like, you know, what else can you do when it's your 18-year-old son who lives in another state? There's not a whole lot you can do. And my heart goes out to you there, because I'm not at that point of motherhood. My girl is 2.5, so. I'm 9.5. Oh, she's 9.5. Sorry, that's her new thing. You're so cute. Yeah, and you're dealing with a nursing home case. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what comes out about this case. No, thank you. I just got a keep it. Oh, thanks, girl. Mommy. Yeah. I said I want Bluey. You want Bluey now? Okay. Yeah, 9.5. Girl, she's been telling strangers that too. I'm like, they're like, how old are you, little girl? I'm 9.5. No. Okay, look, this is a victory card. I want you to continue aligning yourself with your highest timeline and your preferred outcome, okay? Mama. Let me get her this TV show. Hold on. I need Bluey because it's not eating. Bluey, okay. Look, you have your oranges too. your drink.
I have to go pee-pee now.
You have to go pee-pee? Okay, 1 second, girl, but this is good news. Hold on.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of people.
Okay, now we'll open this again. Okay.
It has to be blue. Has to be different.
Okay, there you go. All right. So that's one thing about being here is it's all me, girl and boy. It's all me. So nobody's watching my daughter. She's just here on her iPad, just being an iPad kid while I do this real quick. So this is success. This is forgiveness. This is you, your work paying off. This is you being able to plan for your future. So closing up a chapter. There's something here about this eclipse breathing new conclusive energy to this case. And again, eclipse energy can last about 6 months after the fact. So between now and 6 months from now, it's very possible, very likely that this case could be closed and with favorable outcomes. So now your job is to use the law of assumption to help you draw that reality to you closer and sooner and in the present, okay? So what do I mean? Ask yourself, isn't it wonderful that this case is finally closed? Isn't it wonderful that we won the case and we received our fair and just dues? Isn't it wonderful that I could finally close this chapter? Isn't it wonderful that my son finally has his head on straight? Isn't it wonderful that he chose not to live, not to do it the hard way? Isn't it wonderful that everything that I prayed for is manifesting in my life? Isn't it wonderful? So that key phrase, isn't it wonderful? You complete the sentence with whatever it is that you want to see or experience, especially as it relates to this court case, since the justice card came up, and whatever you've been fighting for or against. So that is your job between now and then. Justice for your Isn't it wonderful that my grandmother finally received the justice we've been fighting for? Isn't it wonderful that this case, the cycle that began in 2014 is finally closed? Those are the sorts of things to continue speaking to yourself so that your subconscious mind is aligned with that outcome, okay? So we could get into the quantum mechanics of all of it, but really, we don't need to. Just do that. Just do that. It's free. It provides you instantaneous relief because, again, our subconscious doesn't know the difference between an imagined outcome, excuse me, and a real outcome. Like our subconscious doesn't know the difference. So you can begin like preparing yourself and training yourself for this outcome by assuming that it's already done, right? Isn't it wonderful that we finally received justice for my grandmother? Isn't it wonderful that her case is finally closed? Isn't it wonderful? You know, all of these things. So that is your homework from now into the next 6 months, since this is coming up in your reality right now. I think the best thing you can do is prepare for the inevitable success, okay? So I hope that resonates for you, and I do appreciate the donation. Over $1 million of my inheritance was hijacked. I'm still fighting for that. Yeah, that is insane. So now, isn't it wonderful that that money was restored to me? Isn't it wonderful that, you know, I finally am able to enjoy the fruits of that labor? Isn't it wonderful that you know, my kids are taken care of, and all of that. Just you decide how you want to phrase it. But if you begin with, isn't it wonderful? Like, isn't it great? Imagine that you are calling someone, talking on the phone with them, and you're spilling all the tea. Like, girl, you know that thing I was working on since 2014? You know, all that money that I lost? Well, guess what? It came back to me. The case is, you know, imagine that you are telling your good news as it's already happened, not, it's going to happen soon. I can feel I'm so close to it happening. No, because that all communicates that it's not now, right? Whatever you do, you want to communicate to yourself, to your subconscious mind, that it's happening right now. Even though the 3D reality may not be echoing that back to you. That's what manifestation is. It's taking something out of the air and putting it into your reality. Okay, manifestation is calling into being something that is not physically in front of us. Okay, it's a magic trick. So, of course, it's not going to make sense rationally. We are doing magic with our imaginations. Okay, good. I'm glad you do already. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And I'm so excited to hear about the that justice, the retribution of all that money. You are so blessed, so abundant, so rich, and congratulations on finally receiving the justice that you and your grandmother deserve. Ashe, speak that shit. Okay, Aries ascendant is next. Then Ren and Shawnee. Yeah, girl, what are you going to do with all that money now? What are your plans? You know, even start creating that for yourself. Like, with this money that's restored to me, I'm investing in these things. We're moving to this place. My son, daughter's going to this college, whatever it is. Start making plans with that money. It's another way to exercise your faith and your belief that it is restored to you. A lot of this is mental exercises, right? As you notice, it's all about our mind. The universe is mental. So how do we create the paradise that we seek? It starts in our minds. Be the change you want to see in the world. It's so cheesy, but it's so true, right? So it starts with you and your mind. All right, Aries ascendant. What does she need to know, do, or understand with Aries season? Girl, you're getting some news. You're getting some news. It's coming in quick. It's likely very unexpected. Getting some news, some communication, some sort of conversation. They got a message for you. Yeah, and this move could inspire you to make some new plans, to make some changes, to contemplate some future moves. These two together are all about action. So suddenly you know, or you're presented with an option or an opportunity, and this gets you back to basics with planning. Do you hear that blue jay outside? Mooney, do you hear the blue jay? It was calling. It was calling. That's right, Bruce. Visualize, create, manifest. How you doing, Brucey? I'm teaching her the different bird calls. We're bird ladies over here. But there's a lot of blue jays, which is interesting. They were calling it, blue jays are protectors. They protect your home and your family. So that could be a message for you here, Aries ascendant, that your home life, your family life is being guided and protected at this time. Oh my God, Jack or Jock. HD, that's easier. That is beautiful. The Blue Jays are outside. Sign from your father. That's so great. I love how the same thing, and this is how you know, like, we're already in a multiverse, right? Jacqueline, okay. This is how you know we're in a multiverse, right? Because that same sound means so many different things to so many different people. for Jack. Oh my God, I love that. Well, they are calling out here, so. All right, Aries Ascendant, you're receiving news that is going to help you pivot and see where you need to move forward. There perhaps has been a lack of clarity that is changing very quickly. This sword is about clarity, and whatever this news is, whatever this conversation is, it directly impacts your goals for yourself moving forward. You're able to see, okay, because of this information, I now know I need to go left instead of right. I need to go up instead of down, whatever your specific situation entails. What else does Aries Ascendant need to know? Yeah, there's definitely some sort of journey here, whether it's a physical journey of traveling or moving locations, or it could be an internal journey of you balancing your heart and mind, the mental and the spiritual. The Chariot, though, is about you armoring up and getting prepared to start a new cycle of some sort. Chariot could also mean like driving somewhere, short distance travel, moving somewhere. This is all about movement. All three of your cards are about movement. So if you've been feeling stagnant or you've been waiting for some sort of sign, this Aries season, as well as the eclipse on the 29th, is going to blast open this portal for you to step through. Let's see. Aries Ascendant. Hey, we love it. We love it. Okay, it's likely related to work. You receiving new opportunities to make money, aligning yourself more with abundance, and you having creative success and fulfillment on a very public stage. As you can see, there's people around in the parade. This laurel leaf is right there. So this is the person succeeding, and everyone else is acknowledging your greatness in some form or fashion. So whatever news you get this week and even within the coming months, take everything that you receive as a positive, right? Even if it's like startling or makes you feel some sort of way, allow it to be the best news ever, okay? Because you can literally use anything that happens as the kindling for this fire that you're stoking within your heart, your mind, your life in general, okay? So it's the idea of thanking God for everything that happens. So you receive a phone call with bad news, thank God for that bad news, because you don't know how that bad news is going to impact you further. You get a phone call and it's good news. Thank God, because that good news is going to bring you forward. So what am I saying here? Everything that's happening right now is divinely guided. And the more that you can lean into your gratitude for that guidance, regardless of how it makes you feel, if you can thank God and trust in a higher power, it is going to lead to your success and well-being, okay? Sometimes the most difficult thing to do is to trust. And with the North Node being in Pisces, with all this energy that we are dealing with during eclipse season, the most difficult thing to do is the most prosperous thing to do. So trusting and flowing will prosper all of us, but you specifically, Aries Ascendant, since this is your reading, it will prosper all of us to trust in our divine path and to look at any speed bump or any hiccup as a blessing in disguise, okay? But there's a lot of success, a lot of money, and a lot of new beginnings on the horizon for you, Aries Ascendant. Next, we have Ren and Shani. And then we will go to any donations or any questions that we have in the chat. If we have general questions, I got you. Like general astrological type questions. Okay, Ren. What does Ren need to know, do, or understand with Aries season and this eclipse in Aries on the 29th, March 29th, y'all? Mark your calendars and check your charts for your Aries house. Okay. Ooh, Rennie. Look, okay. The star card, that's you as an Aquarius. There are
Mommy,
wishes, hopes.
just say one more.
Yeah, you can watch another one.
That's only 3.
Oh, okay. You can keep watching a couple more until I'm done.
Okay.
So, this is the Aquarius card. It's about wishes, hopes, dreams, and the fulfillment of those. We also have the Magician. I feel like we've been pulling really similar cards for you, Ren, where you're really understanding your role as a master manifester, your role in your own experience of your life, right? Our perception is everything when it comes to life. If you have a shitty perspective, even $1 million and a beautiful house and the best relationship won't be enough, right? And then conversely, with a positive perspective, having having even a little bit is going to be enough as well, right? With gratitude, everything is enough. So the star and the magician together are letting you know that you and your manifestation powers are immense, okay? You are at a point where you are creating, where you're manifesting instantaneously. You'll think of something and then that thing appears. And so now it becomes important for you to monitor your thoughts, right? Because just as well as you can manifest something positive, you can manifest its opposite. You can call in some negative experiences as well. So this is time for you to be really disciplined with your mind and to go back to the drawing board of what is it that you said that you wanted? What is it that you wanted to create for yourself? What goals did you plan for yourself at the top of the year, in the middle of last year when Jupiter went into Gemini around April, May? What can you go back to? What still resonates with you? And what doesn't? Where do you need to pivot? Do you like what you see in your current reality? And if you do, this is about continuing to monitor your mind so that you are maintaining that frequency. And if you're looking around and you're like, no, actually, there's a few things I need to fix, then that provides you that caliber of information where you now know you need to shift or change in some ways. Let's see. It's as though you've graduated, for sure. You've graduated here with this world card. This is about victory and success and you reaping the benefits of that. This is also about closing out old cycles for good and beginning anew, which makes sense because the magician is the number 1 and Aries is the first season of the zodiac. So Aries represents the first house as well. So now this is about you seeing what you're capable of. You seeing what you're capable of. So anything that doesn't go your way, don't accept that as face value because you can change that. You can change that expression. You can change that reality with the power of your presence. So if something's not moving forward for you, take a different approach and remember that everything is working in your favor. So even the pause or the time that it takes between you receiving the things that you've been asking for, that could be a huge blessing. So if you tell yourself, that you're blessed, you're fucking blessed. so much about your reality is what you choose to believe. Okay. So if you choose to lean into, oh my God, I'm stuck, nothing I want is happening, these big things aren't coming through, I must be missing something, I must be doing something wrong. If that's what you believe, then you make that true. Okay. However, if you believe everything is always working out for me in divine timing, if it's not here for me yet, it's because it's not meant for me yet. So I'm going to express gratitude and work with the things that I do have, because I know if I have it now, it's meant for me. Taking those two, you can see the difference between both of those perceptions, and both of them are working with what you currently have. So again, we can move through life looking at everything that's wrong, everything that's not here, and blaming ourselves for it. Or we can look at everything that is there and remind yourself that God is good, that the universe is fair, that there is divine timing in all things. And I think even for me, spending, so it was 11 months total, but like probably 6 months where I was really going hard for this move and waiting for certain things to happen. Although in the moment it was like, what? Sometimes it was like, what the fuck is happening? Get me back to New Orleans now. Like, I don't understand why this is not happening. In retrospect, now that I'm here, I can see why it took longer. Part of it's because of me, because I wasn't ready, because I was fearful. And if I were to move in that fearful state, the reality I would have created here would have been born out of fear, right? And that's not what I wanted to experience. So it's like I needed more time to garner my strength and to get my bearings together and to remember who the fuck I am. So sometimes these manifestations take a little bit more time because we need it. And as much as we may be resisting that, like, creation is perfect. Creation is perfect. So choose your perspective, Ren, and everyone else listening. You get to decide how you experience your current reality. That's all there is to it. You get to decide the story that you're telling yourself around where you are at currently. Okay, last but not least is Shani. What does Shani need to know, do, or understand with Aries season and this eclipse in Aries?
Just
One more?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, one more. We should be done unless there's a donation. Bruce, taking notes. Yes. Our minds are literally everything. They're so important. So don't get me started. I could talk about it all day. You... Are you silly girl? She's doing a crazy floor dance right now. Last one, Shawnee. What does Shawnee need to know, do, or understand? Shawnee. Shawnee, as a cardinal sign, as a Libra, you're directly across from Aries. And so this energy is likely pulling on your relationships, having you reevaluate a lot. This whole first half of the year, it's not even half, up until now, it's been a focus for you on relationships. And part of that is because you're a Libra sun, right? So automatically, so much of your life is illuminating the dynamics that you have between yourself and other people. With this eclipse being in Aries, that's also pulling on that seventh house. It's pulling on your natural oppositions and making you think more about yourself, which is great, especially as a Libra, because you spend so much of your life thinking about other people. What does everyone else want? What does everyone else need? How do I make sure the group is good? But with this Aries energy, it's really going back to you. What do you want? What are you creating? What makes you happy? If money and children and responsibilities were not here in the way, what would you be doing? And how would you be going about achieving that, right? So this is highlighting that for you off tops, just automatically in terms of you being a cardinal sign. This eclipse will be impacting you a lot, whether it's the day of the eclipse or the 6 months after, as there is a longer impact of this lunation. It could go up to 6 months after. Let's see. What cards are here for Shawnee? Okay, we have the Five of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. We are in the middle of some retrogrades. If old partners have been coming back, really, really make sure that they are who they say they are. Okay, the Page of Pentacles is often known as like the fuckboy card, and the Five of Swords is about someone potentially be taking advantage of a situation. So you want to make sure you still have your sword out and ready to cut anybody off who is not meant to be there. And again, you get to decide who that is and who that is not. What does Shawnee need to know? Do I understand? Yeah, okay, so we have this Five of Cups. Right now, it's important for you, yes, to feel your feelings. Okay, it sucks when cups are spilled, when we're disappointed, but at the same time, to remember that there's no use crying over spilt milk, and you could potentially be upset over some bullshit. And, you know, God, the universe, has something better in store for you. So this card kind of reminds me of like the toddler who um, is told no for whatever reason, but they're only being told no because the mom is trying to give the kid something better. Okay. And of course, that's the stage of life I'm in right now where I'm like, girl, stop crying about this little piece of orange on the floor. I'm about to give you like a whole fruit salad, you know? So it's like, you're crying over one orange. I'm trying to give you something even better. Okay. So think about that. What have you been allowing to bring your energy down? And how can you remind yourself that nothing can exist in your life unless it is meant to be there? Okay. Then we have the Fool card and the Queen of Pentacles. This is about your new beginning, you flowing in faith, you keeping your heart open and trusting that there is a plan for you, you pouring into yourself, loving yourself, prioritizing yourself brings you physical rewards, okay? It can bring you more money, more stability, better work opportunities, more self-care, like caring for yourself, more prioritizing yourself and connecting with your heart energy, allowing yourself to be led is going to prosper you in so many ways. Jack, my Patreon is all in the description of this video. It's called Lover Goddess. And again, you get weekly readings, usually on Sundays. You can ask for specific questions, or we could just do it generally. And then I also post about things that are going on astrologically as well in there. So you can find me in the description. You're so welcome. Thanks for being here. So this is your reminder again that you are not, Shawnee, you are not making these changes and doing these things and being faithful to yourself. It's not for no reason. It is bettering you, bettering your, there goes the Blue Jays again, bettering you, bettering your lineage, your family line, and it is leading you to prosperity, okay? So if you haven't seen that yet and you're like, where is it? Keep going. And that is one thing about the law of assumption. You have to persist. You cannot give, you can take breaks, girl, you can take breaks always, but you have to persist. If something is important to you, you can't give up on it. Like, hello. If you give up, of course you're not going to get it. Of course you're not going to get the thing if you give up on the thing. So persistence is key for you specifically, but everyone generally. If the dream is big enough and important enough to you, it makes sense that you wouldn't give up, right? It's the idea of road tripping. So I just drove from Albuquerque, New Mexico, all the way to New Orleans, Louisiana. It's like a 16 plus hour trip. And if I were to drive 5 minutes and be like, are we there yet? What the fuck? No, we're not there yet. It's 16 hours, you know? If every time we got into traffic or there was an accident, we'd be like, well, guess I'm not going to make it to New Orleans. There's traffic. Again, you have to persist. It is a journey, and the journey's not over until it's fucking over, until you're where you need to go, you know?
One more.
One last one, little honey, and then we will go outside. We got to do something
And
today.
I have to blow bubbles.
You want to blow bubbles? Well, that sounds like a fun idea. That is a long time. It is a long time. And we did it over 3 days. But, you know, think about the distance between where you are right now and whatever the thing is you want to manifest. If you allow the time, the 3D reality, because time is a third dimensional thing, if you allow the 3D to convince you not to do something or convince you that it's not possible, then you're never going to get there. Hey! Jacqueline, I see you, girl. Let's give you a reading right now. I don't know if you're still in the chat, but let's add you.
I go.
Okay, she has to go potty. Be right back. But Jacqueline, you're going to be next.
So why are you talking now? And why he's born?
Okay, let's make Bluey play real quick. And then Mama should be almost done. And we could blow some bubbles. There. Okay, so you can't let time, you can't let the 3D reality deter you from doing what's necessary to get where you want to be. Okay. So if you think about it as a road trip, right? There's probably going to be some traffic. Jacqueline! Oh, that is so dope. That is so dope. So Jacqueline, I'm gonna read your cards next. If you have a specific question, go ahead and put it in the chat. If you want general, you can put that in the chat as well. So on any road trip, you drove from Colorado to Texas? Yeah. On any road trip, there's probably gonna be an accident. There's probably gonna be some traffic. You're gonna have rest stops because hello, you can't hold your pee for 20 hours. And if you can, that makes me real curious about what's going on with your body. So yeah, there's naturally going to be times where you need to take a break and rest from whatever your goal is. There's going to be times where it seems like, oh man, we're never going to get there. But like even the heaviest of traffic clears up eventually, right? So think about your manifestations as a road trip, okay? There's going to be things that come up. There's going to be an amount of time that it takes to see it in your 3D. But if you stop in Texas, you're not going to get to Louisiana, right? Like if you just stop, that's where you're going to be stuck at. Okay? But if you keep going, eventually you're going to get to where you set out to be. And by keeping going, it's using all the tools in your toolbox. It's you attending to your mind. It's you building up your confidence. It's you working on your idea of worthiness. It's you doing little things each day to align you with your preferred reality. Okay? All right, Jacqueline's next. And then I got to get out of here because this little baby's been watching Bluey for too long. But hey, what's a girl to do? What's a single mom to do? All right, Jacqueline. Jacqueline and the Blue Jays. That's so dope. When that happened and you were like, that's my dad. That's amazing. That's really, really cool. I have the chills over here. So, what is Jacqueline's reminders with Aries season, with the eclipse in Aries? What does Jacqueline need to remember? Okay, we have some good cards here. The first one is the Ace of Wands. That's what your daughter's doing too? Nice. How old is she? Okay, so the Ace of Wands is all about new beginnings, and new beginnings that are tied to your creativity, tied to your passion, and tied to your own self-expression. With Aries season and this eclipse in Aries, you are being revived. 10, oh, cute. You're being revived and reactivated in a lot of different ways. Perhaps you've been feeling like dull or obstructed in some way. Maybe things have just been really droll and boring in your life. Maybe it's too routine or just kind of like going through the motions. Whatever it is, this Ace of Wands is here to like light your candle back up, to light you back up, and to get you excited again about life, about potential, about your hobbies, about the things that you enjoy doing. This is bringing you back to life. Think of a match, right? It kind of even looks like a match. Think of a match. You're being given a match to not only light you up, but also to light the way forward. The second card is the King. Your daddy's calling?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? I just got a phone call, y'all. You can answer it on there if you want, baby.
Okay.
Let me know if you can hear me because I just got a phone call. And sometimes that messes with the volume. Let me know.
But I didn't answer it.
Okay, you can get it.
But if this been red instead of blue. Granny. Oh, Granny was calling me. Mom, Granny was calling me.
No, it was Dada.
Oh, it's Granny.
You can hear me? Perfect. Okay, so
Oh, Dada.
this is about No, Grammy's still asleep. Grammy's still asleep. You can talk to Dada or you can finish Bluey.
I'll be right back. I have to finish blue.
Sorry, girl. Yeah, press the red button and then can you find Bluey in the bottom?
I can't.
Touch it.
It's always dark.
Almost ready. Hold on.
I'm just started.
There. Hey, stop. All right, I'm almost done. I have one more, baby, okay? So press play. Okay. So, the next two cards that came out.
Oh no.
Girl. Hey, I need you to stop touching things, okay? So just click on the Bluey that you want. That's the one that you want. Okay, now no more touching. Okay. Jacqueline, my bad. You live with your 87-year-old mom and daughter, and her dad FaceTimes her at night. Yeah. Yeah. So you know the mom life. Bruce says fire can be willpower and passion. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So how are you using this spark of creativity, right? Because fire is an excellent tool. We use it for so much, but it can also destroy, right? Think wildfires and volcanoes and things like that. So use this energy toward something that can prosper you. And then let's look at the rest of the cards here. So these two came out together. It was the King of Pentacles and the Hermit card. So the King of Pentacles is all about creating stability and ease and peace and fulfillment. You can see even in the look on his face, he's like, oh, yes, this is the life, in his little pimp suit over here chilling, right? So this, you tapping in here, this wand that you're being given, has the opportunity to bring you fulfillment, ease, peace, prosperity. And if you're like, how? This is where the Hermit card comes in. So this represents Virgo. Pentacles also represent earth signs in general. So Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn, all of which are very much in the physical. So whatever you're calling in for yourself right now is physically minded. So more money, a better job, better career, more space, a new home, that sort of thing. So how do you tap into that? The Hermit card. Treat your alone time as a sacred practice, okay? Sometimes wherever we find ourselves, whether it's just more of a solitary period or feeling more alone in the world, when we have those feelings, we can use them as a sacred ritual to commune with ourselves. Sometimes we feel that way, and our lives are set up in that way so that we can receive information that we otherwise would have been too busy to really tap into. So for me, I just got out of a 12th house year. The 12th house is a very solitary year. I wasn't talking to many of my friends. I lived at home with my parents for that year. I felt really disconnected from community and from people around me. However, that was also such a big year for me. I healed so much. I grew so much. I manifested so much. And that was because I was a little bit removed from everything else that was going on. I created sacred space for myself to apply the lessons that I learned, because there was also a whole lot of like, okay, what the fuck just happened to me, and how can I use it to my benefit? How can I make sure that everything that I've gone through wasn't for no reason? Okay, because for me, that doesn't make sense, right? Everything in my life, I need to learn from it. I need to apply something from it. I need to use it to get me to that next level. And so, Jacqueline, I'm sure you've been through a lot, girl. And it's time for you to integrate those lessons, those old stories. Use the past as a way to learn and then achieve in the future, okay? Kids that I need to carve out more time. Yes, for spiritual listening. Yes, girl, I'm never alone. However, when this girl goes to bed, I have more time and space to think. When I literally go to the bathroom, sometimes, insight comes into my mind right then. So it's not about necessarily being alone in a room, but using time more intentionally to receive, even if it's just starting at the beginning of the day saying, I'm open to what I need to do next. I'm open to inspiration. I'm open to this answer to this next question. When your daughter goes to sleep, as you're falling asleep, maybe that's the time that you choose to commune. Yes, your shower is your prayer closet. Exactly. So setting apart that space, and we're saying it, kind of funny, jokey, but honestly, before you step into the shower, we know that Water has memory. Water is a sentient being. Water can create and communicate messages to us, right? So literally before you step in and say, you know, what your intentions are. I want clarity on my next step. Walk into the shower. And then before you leave the shower, say, set your intentions that walking out of the shower, I am now clear on blah, 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 whatever it is. So being intentional with that time, excellent. You're going to receive a lot of insight and information. Okay, then we have this card here, the Death card. Who are you giving your power away to? What stories are you telling yourself that leech power and energy from you? These are all great questions to sort of ask yourself. This is also the Capricorn card. So be sure that you are calling your power back to yourself every morning and every night. Be sure that you are remembering that you have a choice in everything that you do. Even when it seems like you don't, you absolutely do. Like if you're like, oh, but I have to go to work. Okay, so how are you going to go to work? What attitude are you taking with you to work? Oh, I have to take care of my kid. Okay, yes, you do. What are you choosing? What energy are you choosing to bring to that circumstance? So there are small and even large ways to take back your power, even in the midst of even in the midst of doing things that you know you have to do, right? So be sure again to ask yourself, who am I giving my power away to right now? Am I giving my power away to worry, to anxiety? Am I giving my power away to fear, to resentment, to anger? Am I giving my power to the opposite sex? Okay, to the opposite sex. Am I, just interrogating okay, also, what is your power? Your power is your attention. Your power is your perception. Okay, so you can ask, because that's literally the most powerful thing you can do is pay attention to somebody. And that is also why it's important to ask yourself, who am I paying attention to? What am I spending my time consuming? And how is this impacting me? So there's a lot of questions to be asked here when this devil card comes up, of just sort of recalibrating and making sure that you're not giving power away to things that are not prospering you in some way. And then we have this, the results of all of this internal work, this mental work, this refocusing, this reshifting. The impact of that is the Ten of Pentacles, which is stability, which is a happy family. Look, there's generations here of happiness. We have the older man, the younger couple, the baby, the dogs. It's about a legacy here, leaving a legacy of stability, a legacy of fulfillment, ease, peace, all of that. So this is very much about you finding your footing within the abundance that you've called into yourself. Sometimes when abundance comes, it reveals other issues, right? Like, oh, okay, so maybe the problem wasn't the money. Maybe the problem was my thought pattern. Maybe the problem wasn't a lack of finances and it was more a lack of faith. Again, whatever applies to you, take it here when it comes to this. But this is very much about you having this new beginning, you being able to embody this ease, this peace, and this fulfillment, and you being more intentional with receiving your messages, receiving your insight, because you are being spoken to all the time from the blue jay, just randomly, not so randomly, from the blue jay to God knows what, right? So be sure to be intentional with what you're doing, with what you're thinking, with how you're choosing to look at the world. There's signs all around us, right? It's just a matter of, are we picking up on them? Are we choosing to use the messages to prosper us? So, Jacqueline, I hope that resonates with you, girl. I'm so grateful for you and your energy here. I will be reaching out to you on Patreon to ask for your birth information so I can help you pull your chart. I would need your date, place, and time of birth. We can message in Patreon so it remains private. If you don't have those pieces of information, I can pull what I can. And then, yeah, I do post on Patreon a few times a week. And then usually on Sundays, we go live. I give you general messages if you want general. If you have a specific question, we can do that as well. But yeah, I got to get my baby off of Bluey now. She's been on it for an hour and she gets real cranky when she's on the iPad for too long. So we got to go breathe some fresh air. But I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. You know all of your information? Great. I'll be reaching out to you via Patreon. Bye, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. I hope, well, not hope, I intend that you have the best, most blessed, and beautiful day. All right.